Good evening. How are you all? What a day. Been a bit busy, must admit. Lots of work, which is kind of fabulous. And I didn't get my special up because I was doing too much work. And loading stuff up to the website and talking to myself. And I hate this bit. I should really just go, come on people, hurry up. Instead of talking to the universe out there and going, where are you all? Well, it looks as though there's nobody there. So, okay. This evening we're going to talk about Phyllis and her visit to the psychic fair. And remember, she's just fallen in love. So is anyone there? No, nobody's there. People. Can't do a video without any people. It's just not the same, is it? Well, I suppose I can do it, actually. I'll give it sort of a couple of minutes. Beautiful day out there. Very cold, though. Very cold indeed. And one person, that's all I need. Thank God for that. Otherwise, I thought I was just going to talk to the sky and the wind and the rain. I don't know who it is. Ange! Thank God someone's here. Thank God. Good grief. I mean, I should just, if it was YouTube, I'd just record it, just record it and throw it up. But when you're live on Facebook, you kind of got to have a bit of an audience. It's a bit of a, otherwise you feel a bit naff, eh? So it's you and me, mate. How you going? See, I put my hair up today. That was because I was too lazy to dry it. And actually I was running out to go and see Elaine. I went and had a cup of tea with Elaine in my little bubble, because she's in my bubble, which is really, really good. 2 people. Oh my God. I don't think I can stand the excitement. Well, it says 3 people, Ange. Joe! Thank God for that. Joe's there. I was beginning to feel a little bit sort of, mind you, this is the last one for the week, so we're not doing it again till next Monday. And today, of course, Phyllis is going to do something in the next part of her journey. Lisa! Hi, Lisa. How are you going? It's really good. More COVID today, but that's okay. I think it's going to flatten out soon. God, Auckland's doing it tough, aren't we? We are making such a sacrifice for the rest of New Zealand. I envy all of those people down the line who can go and have a coffee and go and have a burger. Today, in the supermarket the other day, I got my favourite frozen chips, and they're Mr. Chips Agria potato chips. Okay, potato fries. They are the most delicious oven fries ever, like ever. So I got that from Elaine's, and I thought, before I do any work, I'll have some lunch. I'm going to have myself some fish and chips. I'll make some fish and chips. So I had hokey fillets there in a box. I didn't do it myself. Put the fries in the oven. And I thought, they look a bit brown. That's a bit odd, but okay, sometimes it's a bit funny. Piled them all onto the plate, sunk my teeth into what I thought was going to be a golden agria potato fry, people, and they were kumara chips. If ever there was disappointment, that was it. Absolute, total disappointment. Never mind. So, what am I going to do for you today? So, if you remember, yesterday, Phyllis fell in love. She met the man of her dreams, and she turned right instead of left. Remember, she was going to turn left. She was going to go off on her dreams. She had her life all planned out in front of her, and she knew exactly what she was going to do. Absolutely exactly what she was going to do. And she had a little peek, remember? She peeked right, and there was this bloke, and she fell in love. Well, it's been a few months now, overnight. In our time, in her time, it's been a few months, and he's kind of taken her away from the spiritual fair. He's sort of said, "Come on, let's go dirt biking and let's go yachting." And she's going, "Oh, okay." And she's been to rugby games, and she's kind of said, hey, I really need to go back to the spiritual fair. And he's been sort of saying, well, I want to do this and I want to do that. And she's been finding herself kind of doing everything the new bloke wants to do. And she's sat down and thought, hang on a minute, where's my dreams? What about all the plans I had made? And she's starting to think to herself, I'm behind schedule. This has held me up big time. So she's taken leave of the lover, and she's gone back to the crossroads, and she's sat at the crossroads, and she's thinking, what am I going to do? What on earth am I going to do? I've just totally, I've missed the boat. And then she thought, no, I haven't missed the boat. Sure, I've spent time and energy on this love of my life, but I now realize I have to go back to my goals and my dreams. I have to go and pursue the life that I had imagined for myself when I was in the spiritual fair. So she's about to turn around and go back to the spiritual fair when along comes this most beautiful car. Okay, stunning car. A Chevrolet Impala convertible. One of those big American jobs with the roof off and the leather seats, and she's at the bench seats, with the what do they used to call it on the steering wheel gear stick. And she's looking at this, and this guy hops out and goes, here's the keys, love, off you go. And she goes, it can't be that easy. He said, sure it can, absolutely. Go back down to the spiritual fair, pack yourself some lunch, and the keys are all yours, and it's all gassed up. So she thinks, okay, so she goes back down to the spiritual fair just to get a feel for where she's been and, what her plans were. And she goes and grabs some more new crystals, and she goes back to the magician and says hi, and stops in at the high priestess and the empress, not for any particular, just to say hi, hello, remind herself the things that she'd learned, remind herself where she got all those dreams, where she got all those plans from. Did a bit of a wide berth around the Hierophant because that was a bit too religious. And she goes back to the crossroads. She looks right, and the lover's standing there looking very dog-eyed, as they do, whether it's a male or a female or whoever you're in love with. And he's looking a bit sad and going, no, love, come my way. And she's going, no, I've got this Chevrolet Impala convertible that's all gassed up to the hilt, and here's my plans and my dreams. I'm going to go out there and get the life I want. And he's sort of, well, what am I going to do? And she doesn't really care. Because she's learned that love can distract you. Hey, love is a fantastic thing, but love can be very distracting. And at this point in her journey in her life, she wants back in the game. So she jumps in the Chevrolet Impala, and she puts it into first, puts her foot on the gas, and off she goes. So the Chariot, and here it is, I got the card out. See, the woman is whipping up the Chariot. The Chariot is about getting back on the path, getting back on the new pathway that you were on in the beginning, going, okay, I'm not going to be distracted by this. I've got to get back into the game. I've got to, I've got things to do. And that's exactly where Phyllis is. She's refreshed. She's like, oh my God, what could I have missed out on? She's got a roadmap by the side, and the roadmap are the rest of the lessons that she has to go off and learn. Not that she knows what they are. There's a couple of dodgy motels in there she's going to have to stay at. And there's a couple of dodgy things she's going to have to do. wait till she meets the devil. That's going to be great. But for the moment, Phyllis is in her chariot. And the message of that card is, you've been distracted. You've gone down that path. Now you know that it's time to get back in the game, to get back on the path of creating your life again. So that's what it's all about. And that's really, it's very simple, really. I did have a message yesterday from a lady who said, you're not explaining all of the cards. You're being a bit frivolous with Phyllis. I expected to have sort of like a workshop type thing. I think I had another message like that the other day. And she said, there's so many meanings in the cards. Each card has so many layers. And I said, yeah, but actually it's all very simple. And I know Angie will remember this, and other people who know me. I've always said that this spiritual stuff, especially things like tarot and runes and all the rest of it, it's all simple. It is not complicated. You do not have to spend screeds of money doing screeds of workshops to learn shit. And tarot is simple. It's a person going on a journey. And as I said to her, I said, it's simple, yes. But in being simple, it means that we can all understand it. I like it simple. I like the chariot. The chariot means you're going on a new journey. You're back in the game. Yes, we could go into all sorts about the horses being freedom and the whip is cracking and all of that kind of stuff. But we don't need to. Phyllis has her Chevrolet Impala convertible and she's off on the next journey. So that's it for tonight. Very short. If you've got a question of some sort, hey, just say hi. Yeah, simple is so good. Simple is so easy, Angie. And when I mean question, not a tarot question, because the rest of my deck's over the other side of the room. But if you've got a spiritual question or something like that, now's the time to ask it. Yeah. How are we going? Good. Joe, Angie, Megan, Lisa? Good to have you people on board tonight. And we will do the rest of it another day. Happy COVID. Is a bit tedious, isn't it? I will say a little bit about that. It is hard. I think this one's harder than the last two. Remember we've had sort of two quite major lockdowns. And, we sort of sit there and go, fuck. But we're strong women. We come from lines of very strong women. I'm sure all of you do. And we have strong ancestors, and it's the women who are going to get through it. It's the women who are going to get us all through it. All of us. We're the ones who, sure, we can collapse in a screaming heap afterwards and go on holidays. But for now, we have to do it. And there's no other way. Because if we don't do it, if we don't stand strong, then, other people just aren't. Well, we all know people who are not strong enough, and not because they're weak as in character, but because they may be unwell, they may be just a little fragile, they may be going through other stuff. And so for those of us that can be strong, we really have to be strong, and we have to stand our ground and go, it's only another fortnight. And hopefully we'll be out of lockdown then, at least at level 3, so we can have a flaming coffee. And while we're in lockdown, do stuff. Give me a bell if you want to study something. Drop me a messenger. I'm more than happy to do that. Use this time to do something. I mean, I got my beading table out underneath the window. God, it's a freaking mess, but hey, it's out there. And feed your mind and feed your soul, because when you're going to get another force, it might be a while before you get another force 2 weeks. Hopefully it'll be a long time. So make the use of this 2 weeks. And, if you have children, do something with children that's different, and introduce them to different things and all the rest of it. But if you're on your own or in a couple or something like that, really feed your own soul and your intellect, because I think that's where it falls down. I went to see Elaine today, and I've actually lost my conversation. You know, I was talking to her and sort of going, I've lost my thread. And it's because I'm not used to conversing face to face with somebody. You know, I don't see her that often, even though we're in the same bubble, but because she's in Pocono and I'm in Papakura, you know, we're very mindful about visiting, even though we're in the same bubble. And I have lost my conversation skills. Now, the last time I lost my conversation skills was when I lived in Tonga. And that was a very long time ago. But because it was, conversation in Tonga was done in a very different way. It's all sort of eyebrows and eyes and, of course, a foreign language. When I got back to New Zealand, you know, I just assumed if someone said something to me, I'd sort of raise my eyebrows or do my eye talking, and people would look at me as if I was a little bit crazy. And it's like, oh, what are you doing? It's like, oh, you don't realize you're actually saying yes to someone with your eyebrows instead of going yes. So I think conversation is something that gets lost. And mind you, if you have family, you can talk to them. If you have children, well, yeah, you would lose conversation anyway, because teenagers and children just really don't talk back, do they? But Lisa, I'm so sorry, mate. You'll have to have a huge 60th afterwards. You know, just something amazing. And happy birthday for whenever it is, because that's a big number. I don't mean a big number as in, hey, you're 60. But, you know, that's a very special birthday, and it needs to be celebrated. And, you know, perhaps those are things we can look forward to and plan all our little celebrations and have them all lined up ready for after all of this. So let's wave goodbye to Phyllis. And the convertible is pink, by the way. Totally pink. All right? A pink Chevrolet Impala convertible. Fully gassed up. She's on her way, babes. She's on her way. Okay, guys. Love you all.